Now, there is a researcher out of the University of Washington. His name is John Gottman. He's the lead researcher of the Gottman Institute, and he spent 30 years studying marriages. And after these 30 years of studying marriages, he can predict divorce with a 95% success rate. He can 95% of the time predict divorce in a relationship based upon what he calls the Four Horsemen of Divorce. Now, we call them the watchmen on the walls, but he calls them the Four Horsemen on Divorce. And he'll say that in 95% of the marriages, there's these four problems. And there's a lot of reasons people get divorced, but these four things are in every marriage, and within a 95% success rate, he can predict them. And here's what they are. It's criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. All right, so first is criticism. These are you statements. You always, you never, you can't do anything right. I can't believe I'm stuck with a person like you. You are just like your mama. You are dumb. You are ignorant. You are a failure. That is criticism. These are you statements. This is when you begin to criticize the person rather than have a conversation about the problem. It's no longer about their behavior. It's about their character, and it's become criticism. That's the first watchman. That's the first horseman. The second one is what he calls contempt. This is criticism with body language. This is when the hand goes on the hip. This is when the head starts bobbing and weaving on the neck. This is when the eyes roll in the back of the head. This is when the feet start stomping and the doors start slamming. That's called contempt. You disgust me. I can't talk with you. I can't look at you. I can't stand to be around you. Is everything okay? Yes, everything is fine, right? That is contempt. The next one is defensiveness. This is when blame shifting enters in. I didn't say that. You're crazy. I didn't stop overreacting. Okay, you're making this way too big of a deal. It's not that big of a problem, right? I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but just so you know, if you add a but to the end of an apology, it is no longer an apology. That is called defensiveness and blame shifting, and it is a watchman or it is a horseman. And the last one is this, stonewalling, AKA the silent treatments. This is when you just give up, you give in, you don't talk to them anymore. You're not fighting because you're not talking. That you just roll over, you give them the silent treatment, you give them the cold shoulder. The pillow next to you is cold because, well, you don't let them in the bed, just like Solomon's wife. Lock them out of the door. Say, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have this conversation. I give up. I give in. It's over. And then pretty soon, when you build the walls between the two of you, you allow the horseman or the watchman to come in and beat you, to bruise you, and to take away your veil, and it'll bring devastation within your relationship. Now think about it. Marriage is the only relationship where we can treat people like this and think it's going to make it better. Have you ever noticed that? Marriage is the only relationship where we come to this conclusion that if I hurt them, they'll love me more. And that's what happens when we react instead of respond. What we do is we hurt the people that we love the most. So often what we're doing is we're hurting the people that we actually love the most. And the closer you are to somebody, the easier it is for you to hurt them. Have you noticed this? Like, criticism just doesn't work. I mean, how many of you at work, right? How many of you, when your boss is just laying into you and just like, I can't believe you, you messed up again, I'm gonna fire you. How many of you come home at the end of the day and think, man, I love my job. I'm just so blessed to have this job. God really provided a great job for me. No, you're looking for a new job. How many of you, when you're hanging out with your friends, if your friends are gossiping about you, if they are, backbiting, if they're getting you in trouble, how many of you are like, I have wonderful friends? No, you're like, I'm joining a small group because I need to get some new friends from Redemption. That's what I need. I need me some new friends. How many of you, whenever you're driving down the road and they cut you off in traffic and they give you the finger, how many of you think, thank you for telling me I'm number one? I just needed that word of encouragement today. Thank you, Barnabas. How many of you are thinking that? No, you're like, if I didn't have this R bumper sticker on the back of my car, I would tell you where to go, brother. I would give you instructions, directions, straight. No, that's what you're doing. But yet when we come home, we think if we hurt them, they're going to love them. We think that if we are going to criticize them, then it's going to change them. And what we end up doing is this. We hurt the people that we love the most. Listen, your spouse can hurt you more than your boss can. Your spouse can wound you in places that no friend could ever wound you because you've opened up your heart to them, you've let them in, you're more vulnerable with them than anybody else, and you've allowed them to enter into a place where there is great trust. And when you react instead of respond, you break the trust and you hurt the people that you love the most.